Hello, welcome to Nourish by Rachel. I am starting this cooking training because I feel like there's a lot of moms out there who are overwhelmed and stressed out, and nourishing our families becomes this chore, this yet another thing on the to-do list. Excuse me, the cat's in the pantry. Get down. Sorry. Okay. Real life, y'all. Yet another thing on the to-do list. Yet another thing to just cobble together, and we're exhausted and it's no fun. And to me, food is not just something that gives us life, not just something that keeps us running to tick off more things on our to-do list. It's something that nourishes, that nurtures, that ties us to memories. Certain flavors take me instantly back to a place that I loved, a moment of beautiful memory, whatever that is. And so I want to help bring the calm back to your kitchen, to help you find recipes that you're not, this is a shot in the dark, I know it's good for us, it sounds like it'll be good, but who knows kind of thing. These are recipes that my family has tried. Most of them will be recipes that my family has raved about, including my 5-year-old. Now, she is a more adventurous eater than some. I totally get that there are different dietary needs, different taste preferences, and those are just things you're going to need to tweak for your own family. But I'm going to show you recipes that my family absolutely loves and that we make over and over again. So I was going to this and I was going to that. I was going to have so much stuff already ready and, you know, all the things. But I'm a mom too. And so I ran out of time. I went to Whole Foods for the few little ingredients that I still needed, and I shouldn't have done that because Whole Foods is like a wonderland to me. Like I said, I love food. I love nourishing people. And so I did get my ingredients, but I did not get everything as ready as I wanted to. I'm going to be following this recipe over here on my iPad, and it is called Superhero Muffins. It is from the cookbook Run Fast, Eat Slow, and it is a family favorite. My daughter loves these. My parents, I made them when my daughter and I went on a trip with my parents, and we finished them all on the road trip there. So my mom had me, we were at a place with a kitchen. My mom had me get the ingredients and make some more for the road trip back. Now, it says, these muffins were designed for superheroes like you. They're packed full of veggies and sweetened with maple syrup instead of refined sugar. In addition, almond meal and whole grain oats replace nutrient-stripped white flour, nourishing and sweetly satisfying for an easy grab and run breakfast. And don't fear the butter. Fueling up with healthy fats is a great way to start your day. Fat helps transport important vitamins throughout your hardworking body and will help keep you satisfied longer. As a bonus, these muffins are gluten-free, which is important to me. I'm gonna go wash this right quick. I'll be right back. So I have, what was I about to say? Oh, I have a thingy on my phone that will let the camera turn with me when I go places, but it won't let me go live. I have to do it in their app. And so I'm using that thing for the stand, but it's not gonna turn, so I apologize for that. We'll try this. we'll get things set, and pretty soon I'll have my routine, and we can do this better, more professionally, whatever. But I'm not a professional, I'm just a mom who loves to cook, who loves food, and who wants to be healthy. So that's what we're doing here. So the first thing you're gonna do is grate 1 zucchini and approximately 2 carrots. My carrots are a little skinny, so they may or may not be enough. That's an annoying noise. With just 2 of them, but we'll see what happens. I've already preheated my oven to 350. And I don't know if you have anybody picky in your household who thinks they don't like zucchini bread or whatever. I have a friend whose husband is certain he hates zucchini bread, but if she makes spice bread, he loves it. It's the same recipe. So if you need to choose your words carefully, feel free to do so. Okay, let's see, what are we doing? Okay, the large bowl is for dry ingredients, and the other bowl, see, and now I have twice as much zucchini as I actually needed. So, yay for that. But y'all, this is my real kitchen. I was laughing last night because I was at this hockey game, and at one point they played Welcome to My House, and I was like, that would totally work for my cooking show, but it would also take up time, and cooking takes time. So, all right, there's my 1 cup. I'm gonna get a bowl to dump the rest of this in. Now, I say this is my real kitchen, but I need you to know that real life means I just wiped down the stove and the counters like right before I went live. I just cleared the extra stuff that you just sort of chuck to the side when you're done using it. I am not an organizational genius. I am not a neat freak. Sometimes I wish I were, but I'm not. So I have these rainbow carrots because they looked so pretty in the store, and I know that the more rainbow colors you eat, the more it's good for you. Did you know purple carrots are white inside? I thought that was kind of fun when I found that out. All right, 1 cup of grated carrots. So, this recipe is pretty adjustable if you need it to be. And since I'm grating distracted, I'm gonna... These safety gloves are priceless. Okay, we got them on Amazon. They look just like one of those, you know, cheap stretchy gloves, but they're actually blade resistant because I have a tendency to grate my hand, especially if I'm talking to the camera and not paying attention. So this way we don't do that. It's also really good if I'm using the mandolin. No, I will not be making you do that in these cooking classes, but sometimes I like to get a little wild and crazy and do a recipe that calls for that, or where I think that will be faster. And as long as you don't, you know, cut a chunk out of your finger trying to guide the stuff that you should be using the guide for, it is faster if you have one. All right, these are gonna be gorgeous with this purple. Actually, they probably won't show because the muffins turn brown once you bake them, but that's okay. So now we've got our cup of carrots. So yeah, don't think that I live in a perfect kitchen, perfect house, whatever. Like, I didn't even take my sunglasses off the top of my head when I got home. Alright, I think we're done. And now I have bits on the counter. So one thing you can do to make things calmer in your kitchen is obviously clean more than I do. And all right, 2 cups of almond meal. You want to get as finely ground as you can. There are a lot of good brands. Blanched is best unless you like a little more chew in your baked goods, which, you know, sometimes that's nice, but most people don't like that too much. So blanched means they have removed the brown skins from the almonds before they, I'm gonna just move you slightly over, before they ground them. So you don't have that extra little bit of chewiness texture in your baked goods. Then we need 1 cup of old-fashioned rolled oats, and I will share this recipe in print form after the video is done to make sure that you can remake this. All right, next we need 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. One, 2, half teaspoon of nutmeg. And a teaspoon of baking soda. So that's our dry ingredients. Half teaspoon of salt. It says sea salt. We prefer the pink Himalayan salt because of all the wonderful minerals that you get with it. And a half cup of chopped walnuts. All right. Oh, yes. A half cup of raisins, chopped dates, or chocolate chips. And while all of those things are nice, I put in dried tart cherries because I think they just give so much more flavor than raisins. And the tartness balances out some of the sweet and just brings in another flavor category that is wonderfully delicious. So I'm gonna grab a spoon and stir this up. And we need 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter melted. And since I did not get everything prepped ahead of time today, you are saved from any soapbox about quality of ingredients, but I think you know that that is an incredibly important factor when you are cooking. cut off 2. Since the stick is 8, that leaves 6. And I'm just going to stick this in my preheated oven rather than the microwave. The microwave is faster and probably fine for some baking, but since the oven is hot, I am going to use it. And I did not get a big enough bowl for my wet ingredients. So we're gonna swap to a bigger one. All right, 3 eggs beaten. So one of the things, one way to get kids more excited about eating certain foods is to get them to help you make them. My daughter, if you've watched any of what we call our pretend cooking show, when we do it together, loves to crack the eggs. And you know, she's 5, so I have to be prepared to have extra eggs on hand in case we have a disaster. But that's one job that I would let her do if she were not at school right now and we were making these together. So I'm just going to quickly beat these with a fork. That. We need a 1/2 cup dark amber maple syrup. So low in sugar, no refined flours. If you are nut allergic, obviously you would need to tweak for that, and I'm sure that there are websites that will give you good substitutions very quickly. I am not well versed in baking for nut allergies because we don't happen to have those in our household, knock on wood. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then we add in the grated guys. And of course, you know, I'm sure, that you don't want to pour hot melted butter over top of eggs because you will make scrambled eggs. So what we will do is quickly temper this egg concoction with a little of the hot butter when it first comes out. And that way it gets used to the warmth and can handle the rest of the butter then. So I'm just going to put these liners in the pan real quick while we wait for the butter to finish melting. Because as soon as we add that and mix everybody together, we will have our muffins ready to go in the oven. So this is how the counter gets messy, because everything gets chucked to the side while we're cooking. Okay, so one thing I love, don't go to sleep on me, about planning meals, one thing I love to do is to use ingredients I'm already buying or food I've already made for later in the week or the day or whatever. So Tonight, for instance, I'm gonna make these wonderful enchiladas for dinner using a whole chicken that I roasted last week and shredding the meat that's left on it. We ate chicken with some veggies and stuff that first night for dinner, but now I'm gonna, remove any extra leftover skin, shred as much meat as I need. I can use the carcass to make a bone broth in my Instant Pot. I'll show you that one day if you want me to. Definitely please comment on what types of recipes you would like to see, what sort of events or situations you would love to have suggestions for, like, oh, I forgot to thaw the meat for tonight's dinner plan, now what do I do? Or things you can eat on the go. We have a 30-minute drive to my daughter's hockey practice, so sometimes we need things that can be eaten in the car, either on the way there or on the way back, because by the time it finishes, we get home basically at her bedtime. But let me know what you want to see. I will happily tailor what I'm doing to those needs. And so anyway, I'm making things from what I've already got. And then one of our favorite things to have with New Mexican, Tex-Mex, whatever kinds of foods to add in a vegetable is calabacitas, which is basically a very simple combination of a squash, like a zucchini, or there actually are squashes called calabacitas. Usually these are easier to find, so I just use this, with a summer squash for beautiful color, onion, garlic, saute it in olive oil, and a little salt and pepper. Simple, easy. Maybe crank it up the last bit to just caramelize the edges a little bit, get it a little bit toasted once it's been already cooked through. But it is so delicious, simple. I can chop it all up, throw it in the pan, and stir it every once in a while the enchiladas are baking. Done. The enchilada recipe is a little more involved because you make the sauce and all the things, but it is so good. If you want to see it, if you want to get that recipe, totally let me know in the comments. But anyway, it's wonderful. So let me check my butter, because it should be melted by now. Yeah, pretty much. Just swirl it till the rest of it melts, but that way it won't keep getting hotter. If you don't have one of these little guys, I highly recommend it. It's a whole lot easier than putting on a whole big oven mitt. It grips the side of the bowl, it grips the things that we put in and out of. We have a little mini oven that functions as our toaster oven, as well as a place to cook stuff in the summer if we don't want to heat up the house. There are only 3 of us in the house, so a nice 8x8 square pan fits in there really well, which is plenty, especially if it's a side dish. But even if it's the main, just little tweaks, little things that help. It heats up a lot faster than the beautiful gas oven and range that we have in this house that we're renting. All right, so I'm just gonna pour a little in, and we're gonna stir and say, hey, something warm is coming. Pour the rest in. If I had remembered to get a spatula, I would use it, but I didn't. All right, there we go. Wet ingredients combined. And no scrambled eggs. And you just dump the wet into the dry. Let me use this spoon. I think that'll work better. Oh yeah. Now, I'm not gonna make you sit here and listen to me babble for the whole time that I am, you know, scooping the muffins out and baking them and all of that. I will post a picture of the finished muffins when they have finished baking. But you can see the mixture. It's absolutely beautiful with the green and the red and the darkness of the cherries. And my iPad just went to sleep. So, done mixing. I find a scoop the easiest way to get especially a thick batter from the bowl into the muffin cups. So I'm just gonna fill these muffin cups. Let me wake this back up. They are going to bake 25 to 35 minutes. Check them with a toothpick in the center of a muffin. If it comes out clean, they are done. If it comes out sticky, put it back in for 5 minutes and test it again. Some of you watching probably know that, but I have no idea the level of people who will be watching this. So I'm trying to make sure I cover the things that my mom taught me, just in case you did not have that experience. But I love that food can be something that brings us together, something that reminds us of times we were together, or amazing trips we took, or holidays together, or loved ones who have now passed on. The #1 requested birthday cake in my family is my grandmother's chocolate pound cake. That is a family recipe, so I'm afraid you might have to come over for a slice, because I don't know that I will be giving out that recipe, but it is phenomenal. Now, I have filled all 12 of these muffin cups almost completely, and I've got enough for at least 2, probably 3 more muffins in this dish. So we will do that in a minute. But thank you for watching today. I will post a picture of the finished product. It'll probably be like the thumbnail picture. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this. If you're gonna try the recipe, please post a picture. Let me know how it went for you. And I will see you back again here next week at 10 o'clock on Tuesday for our next recipe. Have a delicious week.